So today is May 7th, 2022, 3:16 p.m. A couple things that we wanted to go over. This division, Atlanta UNIA-ACL Division 421 executive meeting. A couple things that I wanted to touch on from president's standpoint is to make sure we were transparent and everyone's aware of where we stand financially. Recap of the month of April, last month, make sure we're all on the same page with last, and then prepare, make sure we're on the same page for the next couple months. May, what we have lined up for the month of May, and then the month of June. And then in closing, I was going to touch on something that I've come to realize myself. I'll call it the 4 aspects of leadership. So we spent $109, whereas if we would have got the color version, it would have been like, I think $600 or something like that. But this would fold, it folds 3 times. This turns into the front cover, and this is the back cover. But as you open it up, I think, yeah, this is the first stuff. What is the Universal Negro Improvement Association, African Communities League? And from the preamble, it's a social, friendly, humanitarian, charitable, educational institution, constructive and expansive society, organized for the general uplift of the Black people of the world. But yeah, what pledge do the members take? Who founded the UNIA? What's our slogan? What's our jurisdiction? Who are ordinary members and active members? How much are monthly dues? What are aims and objectives? How to develop a charter division? How to become a charter division? How is money transferred from the local division to the parent body? Tax, our annual assessment, $10 a year. Oh crap! How did I do that? But yeah, it's just a lot of good general information. We had it updated for Atlanta Division, Dr. Julius Nairi, our PO box, our division secretary phone number, which is my other phone number, our email, and this was updated as well for our local division, promoting the Black Government ID, monthly charity programs, feeding programs, cleaning up programs, bi-weekly study groups, mass meetings every second and fourth Sunday. So just general promotion.
Okay.
But yeah, they were using them. Well, let's see. I saw them in Philadelphia, and I had asked the Philadelphia division, about them. And that's the good thing about being at HEC, because everybody's there. So Secretary General was there, and she told me, yes, this is a document that at one time, 2013 is when it was initially created. Wait, no, it wasn't. I don't think it was 2013, but it was initially created a few years back, but it was created for all divisions. And certain information, the local information just had to be updated. So I think it's a good way of us staying on code, I guess is the best way of saying it, but just making sure we have a similar message throughout the different cities. But it's an excellent promotion tool. You really don't have to say much, you just hand the information to the individual. Hopefully they don't throw it away. But if they read it, it explains everything for us. So
okay.
100 each per officer. We'll talk about when we meet up. There's a couple of events coming up this month, so that can be an opportunity to transfer these.
So was the Easter egg hunt well attended?
Say again, I'm sorry.
Was it well attended?
Well, the HEC?
The Easter egg hunt.
Oh, the Easter egg hunt. Brother James has to give a report on that. To my knowledge, I'm not sure. I know that when I talked to him the day of, he was saying that the weather didn't look that great. and they were looking at turning it from an Easter egg hunt into just an Easter egg giveaway.
Okay.
I was hoping Brother James would be able to give a summary of, how it turned out. But at least from an executive standpoint, I want everyone to understand the finances associated with it. Whether it was good, bad, or whatever, we had to spend $110.
Was there any information on this Easter egg giveaway that people would know that the UNIA was doing it?
Good question. Let's see here. Let's see. I hope I got that in here. Give me a second to send the flyer to myself. I gotta email the flyer to myself and then pull it up. I didn't send that one. Asking for passcodes. Oh, that was you on Macy's.
Say it one more time, President John.
No, I just saw your text about asking for passcodes.
Oh, yeah, I got it in.
One moment. I'm sending the flyer. And I did send the flyer out to everybody when I received it. At least the executive officers should have received the flyer through text. This was the flyer Brother James had created. It has the Vision logo in the center.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, April 16th. I got to give him a lot of credit, as well as Brother Kenwardo. They have been doing a lot of leg work to represent the division for thus far this year. Kenwardo out, he had programs January, February. He's at a program now. And Brother James, he helped put this on. Brother Macias has been, up front as well. The fundraiser didn't go as planned, but I still respect the effort and the attempts. And Mama Mina has always been, waiting for anything that we've got going on. She's willing to support. So, but this was the flyer. And with that being said, I did kind of want to touch on Brother Macias. I mentioned the fundraiser and how that basically what happened. I explained to Mama Amina the issue that we had with the copyright and showing the movie at the facility. But is there anything else you could add to, as to why we weren't able to pull off that event?
Yeah, that was the main reason. Him seeing the flag the last minute, and with that copyright being on there, he didn't want to jeopardize his business. But I believe that I'm not going to speculate why he didn't want to do it, but that's what he said. So I think it was also a part of us not paying an upfront fee too. Because I had to negotiate him down to that to get it at first. So he did say yeah, but then I think he kind of used that as a reason to back it.
What was the fee? Do you remember?
He wanted to
Oh, it was like a percentage type thing.
Yeah.
But
so he wanted this up front. Then he wanted his kitchen to get all the food, to be able to advertise for his restaurant, because he's trying to build the restaurant that they have there. So it really was last minute putting together. So
I know, but if it's our event, then we need to make sure that all that kind of BS be taken care of up front as an organization, so that if if we have some conflict with the institution that we're trying to rent to have our events, so we need to, all that needs to be explained and developed prior to the event, so that if we knew the brother was having some problems with our even doing it, then we, as an organization, we said yes or no, as opposed to having people waiting, dressing, getting ready to go to this thing, and then have it stop. That didn't make no sense. I mean, we're not that shabby. I mean, this UNIA has been in operation too long. If the Negro couldn't accommodate us, there's 100 million other places that could. That's my feeling. And this is Mama Amina.
Yeah, we could definitely pull it off going forward. We just know we can't advertise any movies that don't have any copyright. We know that going forward. We do have other avenues of independent movies that we can show if we want to have a movie night again. But other than that, we can do any events that we want to do. Let's try again next time.
Yeah, we're going to have more opportunities.
Can I ask the question?
Yes.
Okay, was it because the movie wasn't on like Netflix or Prime or something like that? Was it because you was bringing like your own copy? Or could we do like, if we look at it off of Netflix or something?
When he called me, it was just like, hey, you're showing that movie here, or it has it'll be copyrighted for me with showing that movie. And it come back. So I'm not sure exactly the laws on copyright infringement. From what I know, I mean, if we can't show and sell tickets for a movie that is not owned by us, period. So I'm not sure if it was how we were doing it. I think it's that we were advertising.
Okay, well, we could get around it by selling food. Free movie, pay with food. I mean, if we was able to do it.
Like that.
We can get around it. Okay.
Yeah, it's ways around it, but I think when we use the title of the movie on the flyer, that becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Well, the past we said the struggle is not to fall, but to move forward faster. So certainly this was a learning experience for us. Any other time in the future that we have some kind of plans, prayerfully we will have, we know of the possible, we know what we ought to do.
It's a learning experience. Unfortunately, but I mean, whether it was good or bad, whether we were successful or not, it was still gonna be a learning experience. But
right, that's what I'm saying.
The best we can pull from it right now is what we learned.
So is that why Sister Rod Ebony left?
No, she left before that.
Oh, okay.
She left like 2 weeks before the event, like while we were still planning. So I don't even know I don't think it had anything to do with the copyright issue. Personally, I don't know exactly why she left. Honestly, I can't speak on it, and I don't want to speculate. People are free to come; they are free to go.
Now, if we had our own site somewhere, that's what we maybe need to do. If we want to show movies, if we want to have food, whatever we want to do at that particular building would be up to us, right?
Yes.
So maybe we can look forward to doing something like, gaining a house or something that be our own, even if somebody lived there.
Brother Macy's, did you want to?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to talk about today, actually.
Oh, very good.
I think that's a good segue into First Vice President's proposal regarding property here in Atlanta. While he's doing this, I got to run and I'll be right back. I'm still going to be my computer, but I got to get my other computer to get the updates for May and June.
Can I share my screen, President John?
If not, you will be able to in one moment. Let's see. Yeah, make you co-host. Try now.
Yep, I can share now.
Okay, yeah, so you got it.
So of course, from the business development standpoint, and of course, membership is definitely the first element of business development. Hold on, I'm pulling it up now. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull this up. Where is it? Screen. All right. So she was asking about us having our own place. What we want to talk about today is us being able to acquire land as a division, and because a nation, we are government. A nation is not a nation without land. It's time to take back the land. A nation is not a nation without ownership of land. Land is the source of all economic development and central banking. With the expectation that man will use his energy to cultivate the land, that's how land gets its value. Food, clothing, shelter, experiences, and overall quality of life is abundant when one has direct access to the land, like you're saying. When we have access to it, we can create experiences, we can create food, we can create shelter for our people and not have to go through third parties, like you're saying. So fortune favors the bold. We must be resolute in our duty to acquire the land, cultivate, distribute, and protect the land for our people. Us focusing on getting land, of course, also creates jobs as well. And that's what we want to talk about, how we can create jobs for our membership by focusing on real estate, which is the first level of nation building and economic building, which is what Garvey has brought us here to do. So, of course, there's 4 ways. I'm missing a slide, but that's okay. There's, of course, the 4 steps to being able to successfully cultivate the land to create resources. First, you have to acquire it. Second, you have to cultivate it. Then you have to be able to distribute the land to your people, and you have to protect it. Every nation is charged with these 4 steps. They have to be able to acquire land, and of course, the United States has done that by the treaties that they signed originally with Europe, as they were fought for the acquisition of this land to be able to utilize it. And of course, we are the people that, through our membership, are committed to cultivating the land to be able to turn it into resources. And they use that value to be able to, they use that value in their system to be able to create their economy. They use the value of us and our commitments to the land to be able to create their economy. We'll talk about that a little bit further. But there's 3 ways we can acquire land right now. There's adverse possession, there's tax debt payoffs, and there's by just purchasing it. Adverse possession is simply abandoning distressed properties, because land comes from God, basically. They made laws that nations can take land that's not being utilized. But that law, we all can utilize that law. If land is abandoned and not being utilized properly, then that person forfeits their right, because possession is 9/10 of the law. And we'll talk about that also a little bit later.
That's a good statement you're making.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, my family, we got 80 acres in Arkansas. And we're not down there doing nothing with it, but we do pay taxes.
Right. And that's when we get to the last slide, we'll see to protect the land, you have to occupy it, you have to utilize it, and that's important too. That's the fastest way to lose land is by not doing nothing with it. So we have right now properties all over the place that's just sitting there because business owners don't know. Property owners don't know how to cultivate. With us having members, and that's how we'll be able to cultivate the land that we acquire. The easiest way to do it is average possession. When it's abandoned, go in there and get it. The law says you have to be notorious about it. If you sneak about it, you become a squatter. If you're notorious about it and in the bold say, hey, property owner, I'm taking this land. Where are you? I put up a whole sign. You haven't come by. I done did all this on the property. Where are you at? They don't come. And I think Georgia, though, it gives you 25 years to get the 25 years to get the title. Some states, you get the title after 7 years. But during that time, if you take the property, everything you do to the property, that property owner has to pay you back for if they come back. 90% of the time, the properties that are getting taken, the owner has left. So he doesn't even want to pay for the tax. He doesn't want to pay for the property. So 9 times out of 10, that you leave off with the property. One of the things that a lot of Indians get into is what's called an allodial title. Because we are melanated, we can claim first rights to the land and not have to wait on their titles. But that's something that's down the line that I'm not going to get too deep into right now. But right now, I think that's the first way to get properties is adverse possession them by grabbing abandoned properties, being notorious about it, filing that with the state, saying, "Hey, I take this property. I don't know where the owner is. We're utilizing it for this." Boom. You don't really have to file with the state, but might as well dot our I's and cross our T's because we're being notorious because that's our right. The second way is to pay someone who's behind on their taxes. Right now the state it's 15%. If they do come back and say, "Hey, I'm keeping my property," they got to pay you back 15% of what we paid. The good thing about that is we may not always get the properties by doing that, but you do get that extra equity for us to utilize for the third step, which is buying property, which is the easiest way, the normal way to acquire property right now, just purchasing it. And we want to have fundraisers to be able to raise money to do all three of these steps. In Philadelphia right now, they utilize the first step, which is the adverse possession step, to take 14 properties. That property right now has 2 houses that are still standing, and the rest of the lot they turn into farmland for the people. They call it a participatory democracy. If you volunteer to work the land, you can come get food whenever you want to. There's no fences, there's no gates. They have kale, tomatoes, cilantro, eggplant, everything. So it's just free food. The city tried to come in there and basically raid them. They defended their right to be there, and they stayed. Since then, they've been having like little stuff happen, like water hoses get cut and benches get broken. But hey, you have to be resolute in this thing when we're talking about land ownership, because that's how this is war. I mean, we have to defend our property. That's going on right now. You see Russia and Ukraine going on right now, where they saying no, we want this land right now. But
okay, so we don't want to be that sorry like Putin, but we want to get someplace where our organization can meet.
Right.
Really.
Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, there are properties that are out there that's abandoned right now. The one thing that they said that they did well in Philadelphia when they took those properties is that they moved fast. When they got the property, they did what they call a work party. They had food and music, and they said, "Hey, the guys in the community came out, they cleaned it out real fast, and boom, that's the first lien right there. That the price for that clean out right there. Hey, we got this property. There are plenty of properties in the land that we can get right now that's abandoned. We can move on real fast. The ultimate thing that we want to do is when people are joining the UNIA, they're asking, what does the UNIA have to offer me? Everybody's asking that question. We got to be able to answer it. And real estate is the fastest way to grow economics. So we have property and it becomes assets. The only way to become assets, slide number 2, is to cultivate the land. And that's where we have to go. when you cultivate the land, you do it for three purposes. One, we can wholesale it. That's basically getting the property, selling it before we renovate it. The other way is fix it and flip it. We can grab these properties, renovate it and sell it, or we can renovate them and utilize it for whatever businesses that we have within our community that we want to create, or of course, like she's saying right now, for our events and our meetings and stuff like that. The three ways that, I'm sorry.
We lost Brother Omasius for a minute. But yeah, I mean, it seems fairly feasible, but we do need committed members, as always. And if we're talking about, moving quickly, we got to be committed, and everybody's got to be on the same page.
Without a doubt. And I think acquiring properties, I mean, if somebody want to go to that house.
Sorry, I had a call that came in. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All the way out.
Yeah. We got you co-host. He's supposed to be here.
Are you guys, we still meeting?
Yeah, we're still.
Hello?
Yes.
I think that as for an organizationally at this particular time, what we need is an office somewhere. If we want to go and acquire properties to help our organization grow, I mean, that can be done. But can we get together somewhere? I mean, a site, just an office space.
That's what Omasius is talking about partially. The question is, how do we acquire an office?
You go sign a contract and you rent it someplace or something. Of course, you buy it either way.
We just went over our financials.
Yeah, and we're down to nothing, just about 280.
Yeah, unless we're only bringing in about 50, maybe $100 a month based on member dues. So buying it outright, I don't think that's an option for us.
Not at this time, no.
Even tax debt payoff. I feel like the only option we have right now is adverse possession. Unless we wanted to wait and make plans for later. But if we want to do something right now, we'd have to possess something that someone else doesn't want and they're not taken care of. And that's a lot of work to turn that around.
Or if somebody can want to have time to go out and try to find some place like that.
Can you hear me, President John?
We hear you now.
Okay. Sorry about that. So with us focusing on real estate, one of the routes that we're hoping to take by us focusing on real estate first is we do have a member who has a place in East Point that we're hoping to partner with to be able to utilize his place for our headquarters right now, Jay Morris.
Yeah.
So because he focuses on real estate, I believe if we align this agenda with him, we'll be able to utilize that place as well. With us, you know, so that could be a route to go right there.
Brother Macias, I don't disagree, but we talked about this in Philadelphia. When would we have time to, you know, develop that relationship?
Now.
I mean, can we get our own site somewhere mid-Atlanta someplace? I mean, whatever you guys are younger than me, whatever.
Yeah, we're about to do it. Every possession.
I think that's okay. Hold on, slow down. We are talking about getting our own place. Brother Macias originally was talking about 3 options: adverse possession, tax payoff, or buying outright. Based on those 3 options, I think it's really just one option. Based on our position, would be adverse possession. Now he's bringing forth another option of using a space that a member already has. So that's where we are right now. And my question is, Brother Jay Morrison is a dues paying member. He's not registered, but he does pay dues. So we do have, he is, you know, committed to an extent, at least financially. But as far as talking with him, sitting down with him, that's what I'm talking about as far as developing the relationship and making sure we have some level of agreement, even if it's only temporary. So right now we're talking about ideas that sound really good, but until we, you know, make a connection with the other side, it's just an idea.
Well, I think it's important when you go to that side to have your terms of what you're going to do or what you're bringing to the table already ironed out. So that's why I'm saying with his focus being on real estate and ours too, that it would be a mutual, that's how we would present it to him as a mutually beneficial relationship. Now, as far as setting up the meeting and getting the meeting, I think that won't be as hard. It's all about what we're going to say when we do get that meeting.
Now, hold on now. Make sure we all saying the same thing. Are we talking about real estate venture for members, or are we talking about a place for the division?
Well, a place for the division, and definitely both, and real estate development for members as well. The reason that I was saying that he will benefit from that also, number one, he has a real estate investment course that he teaches right now, and he purchases real estate too. So when we get the properties, there's 3 ways to distribute the equity and share in the equity of the properties that we find. And number 1 is wholesaling those properties one way. By us partnering with him, he would be an immediate buyer if we wanted to wholesale the properties. Number 2, when we go to even fix and flip, he could possibly be a buyer as well. The reason we will wholesale properties if we wanted to get some quick cash to invest in future assets. Same way with the renovating and flip, it's maybe slower cash, but a higher profit for us as a division, with still cash that we can use to buy other assets. Those other assets could be investing in business ventures that our members have that will also bring back future revenue for the UNIA as well. So that relationship with him could benefit those too. Even in the last phase of distributing the wealth between all the members, when we renovate the properties and utilize them, just his coaching in that process, which I believe that he will give to us freely, will be beneficial for our division as well.
So I heard a lot, and then you said like first step is, or you said number 1 is something, but something that I didn't hear was where are we getting the properties? Like or at least how are we finding the properties other than, and I know they have like databases and things like that, but I know people in real estate have access to those same databases. So what are we, when you say, we have the properties and make the exchanges, other than my understanding was what we're bringing is a workforce.
Right. So that goes into the fourth phase of it right here, where we have the teams that we create. So that's how we're going to be able to create jobs for our people. They have an acquisition team, a cultivation team, a distribution team, and a protection team. Protection is all about utilizing the properties, being able to, and you protect your property by investing in them. You have individual investment where we find the properties for residential and student housing, business investment, or communal use, whatever. Those three. But for us to be able to find the properties, there's processes that we would have to implement, and that will be the acquisition team. So it will first start with setting up a meeting, presenting this at our executive meeting to see if members want to join these teams. The acquisition team, they have what's called driving for dollars. I have a software that I use called Deal Machine, where our members can take a picture of an abandoned property that they see, upload it to the database, and we can give those members a profit if we wholesale it or whatever for finding the property. So that would be how we would find the properties, by creating that acquisition team who would solely focus on that. And then, of course, the cultivation team is the team that, hey, if we want to renovate it, to hold it or flip it, then they will focus on training people how to do carpentry and all that to be able, so we can have mastery in that area. We already have some members who do that already.
Yes.
And then we have distribution team. If we do want to sell it, we have that team right there who focuses specifically on that. And then equity management is how that team will focus on basically registering the properties where everybody will be able to access them and stuff like that. So that will be the next step. It's presented to membership to see if people want to join these teams, to be able to help out with the process so it can be executable and not just conversation.
Mama Amina don't want to say anything.
Let's get us a building somewhere so that if we want to have some financial ventures and do this, it would be good in that respect. The UNIA, our goal is broader than that.
Bro Macy's, I hear everything you're saying. I don't disagree with anything, but my thing is the starting point, the first building, that's right. What's most critical. How do we get the first one going?
The way to do the first one is to find the property. That's the first step, find the property.
Well, once we even find that property, we got to have some income in order to get that property.
There's two ways to do it. Like I said, adverse possession is a way to find the property. We don't have to purchase. That's just the way that we are normally think about. Thieves do adverse possession every day.
And that's why I'm saying we have to be on the same page with what we're saying. But to put it bluntly, we're talking about a property that obviously an individual is not taking care of. We're not going to say that they don't want it, but they're not taking care of it, and it's falling apart. We would come in without being asked and start taking care of the property, but also to Brother Macy's point, we would not be doing it in secret. We would be doing it out in the open, filing paperwork. And I also would think at some point there would come an expense of taxes and things like that. But the first step is, mentally and basically physically taking ownership of that property.
And like I said, the second option is to partner with somebody who has a place already.
Yes.
And I just see that with him being always talking about Garvey all the time, him having Garvey in picture in his lobby, you know, I think that would be the best route. If we don't want to take one ourselves, that's the fastest way that we can get into a place is by going that route. That's just my opinion.
And that facility is located near the core. So where we did our Ancestors Day for last year, that facility is in the same area.
It's beautiful too. We all should just go, just take in the Black energy there. It's just, if you haven't been to the Black House, which is what it's called, you gotta go. It's just beautiful. It's ancestors everywhere, and he's doing it for the culture.
I might go up there tomorrow if I got time.
Please, you'll love it, man.
Take your wife out for Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. Always working.
but again, I mean, in all seriousness, that's the two options that I see: adverse possession of land that's not being taken care of, or partnering with someone that has property. And right now, it seems like Brother Jay Morrison is the person that we're discussing and talking about.
So I was just, I do agree that our business is definitely farther than this. Mine is too, but I didn't want to hit you with everything because I can be overwhelmed.
Yeah, no, don't do
I do think, sorry, no President Shah. But this is the first step, to number one, it's all about the land. This whole race is about the race to control resources, and that resource is the land, and it's our time and energy that's used to cultivate the land. We can own our time and energy, but we got to be bold in saying, hey, we want to go grab this land like they are. They're bold. They're going through borders, So I think that partnering with him as a first step, even with the future of getting land in the future, will benefit us because he's been in real estate for so long and he knows this arena.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk to him. Like I said, he's a dues paying member. He's just not registered. So he's a supporter.
Yep.
I need to bring him an application, let him fill that out.
No, for real. No, seriously.
Well, why don't we invite him to one of our meetings, and so we can, or we can make an appointment with him to discuss our needs and possibilities, and see what possibilities he can suggest to us.
You're right, Lady President. I was hoping our first Vice President would, have that discussion with me with Brother Jay Morrison. But if I'm gonna do it tomorrow, I might have to do it by myself.
Yeah. I mean, I probably won't be there till Tuesday next week sometime, but we can definitely. I do think going to his place would be beneficial first because we want to support people first, and then they support us. So just going there at least to seeing it, and then talking to him there and his staff there. Once you tell them that you're from the UNIA, he's gonna want to talk to you because he always talking about Garvey and UNIA. So it's time for him to now join. So I think going there best step than first calling him, reaching out.
All right, I'll pull up on him. That's what they do now.
So this is the Black House, and it's in what city now? East Point?
East Point.
It's called the Legacy Center, but he nicknamed it the Black House. Yep. You can see. I mean, I don't have enough pictures. I try to go on the line and see pictures. He doesn't do a good job with most pictures.
So let me ask another question. Is there no kind of properties or anything that we want to consider that's anywhere over close to where these colleges are, where Spelman and Morehouse is, anywhere in that direction?
I have some ideas. I've actually been spending quite a bit of time out there this week, and I was out there today as well. But we have to kind of put everything on the table, what's available, what type of resources we have, as well as the relationships we have with different individuals. So if we do have a facility, if it be in East Point that is, open to us using that facility, and it's more financially reasonable than us, trying to get a place downtown or right by the school, we may have to, work with what we have. But I agree with you, Lady President. But that's why I wanted Brother Macias here, so I could show him, some of the other areas that I've seen in regards to adverse possession.
Mm-hmm.
But
just short driveway, I'll pull up, everybody.
We can look at next weekend. That'll be the earliest, but matter of fact, nah, don't worry about it. We had talked in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Don't overexert yourself. But to recap, so we're not really. This is our executive body. This is where we're supposed to make decisions. Even though, but I know we're not, I guess we're not ready right now to make a full decision. But the two options that are on the table are acquiring property of our own somehow, some way. Financially doesn't really seem feasible right now, but that's one option. And then the second option is getting assistance from a member. So I'll be talking to that member tomorrow, and I guess the update is on me. But I don't know if there's anything else anybody else wanted to say in regards to property or buildings and office and things like that.
So as far as so the goal for this real estate venture is to create it as a business development department function for us to create jobs for our members and create revenue. So
the purpose for it for us to meet so that we can do all that. Can we get together somewhere so we can do all that? You guys to come together first and then branch out to those other avenues, I believe.
Well, as I stated below, I mean, I'm sure we have on our roll way more than 18 members. But right now, he said we had 18 active. And I promise you, the members are asking, what did the UNIA have for me? We can have a place to meet. Right now, we meeting on Zoom and people ain't coming there all the time, So creating jobs for people will make them want to meet. So, and we don't have to necessarily meet in a place to start investing in real estate as a membership, as an organization. We can do that by just having the Zoom meetings and outlining the process for our members. That will be the steps that we would need to take to get that done. As for the meeting, it doesn't necessarily hold weight to execute it at all. That's my opinion. I mean, but that's not to say that I don't see the value of meeting to. Y'all
just know that Garvey went into New York. You hear me? And had a big meeting before he had acquired any property. But he mobilized. You gotta mobilize people so you can organize the people so that they can know then what they actually want.
Yeah, y'all both are saying some good things. I think at the end of the day, we want a facility that we can call our home or our home base.
Right.
But at the same time, those investments aren't always necessary, and especially in modern time. So, but at the end of the day, I don't think you can duplicate, as the lady president is saying, that feeling of camaraderie. Brother Macias, I hear what you're saying as far as virtual, and I agree with you. However, I think you would even agree that, when we had HEC and everyone's in the same room, it's a different feeling, when we got together to clean out the building. That's not something that we can do online. So I think there's a balance. Both of y'all are saying, the right thing. However, I'm leaning more towards Mama Amina in the aspect of, like I said, just a home base, someplace that we can call home.
But I think the goals are different than what we're talking about. The goal of camaraderie is a goal that, yes, can be achieved by having a place. I'm not talking about camaraderie as a goal. I'm talking about business development as a goal, which is separate from camaraderie. So we both are talking about two different things. So there's one path of acquiring property for the meeting. I'm talking about acquiring property specifically for us to develop business, and that's why I'm saying, can we still do that separately and start and get that activated, but still work finding a property for us to meet.
Right. I think that we can have a financial development committee and let that come in and work in that respect. At the same time, we need obtaining a site for where we would bring our membership to meet. If you talk about, you got the NAACP, right downtown on 123 Main Street. You got the Urban League over here at 1st and 5th Street. So you want to say, where's the UNIA? Oh, well, they online somewhere.
You're right. I agree. 100%. We have to have a home base. I agree. Yes, definitely. Because I mean, like President John said, he alluded to, that clean out of the HEC was the greatest feeling in the world. Us cleaning out the international headquarters, seeing those archives from the 70s and the 60s and how it brought us all together. We had a little bit of tension during HEC, but that last day, us coming together was so beautiful.
Together. Exactly.
Yeah, we on the same page. We're on two different kind of focuses. Me as the business development coordinator, I would like to introduce this as the first business development thing that we have for that regard.
Right. And I appreciate that, and that's good. And we need somebody who thinks in that respect.
Right.
I think that's good.
So basically, I'm asking as far as finding the property. I know President Johnson is gonna come up with an update on that, but I would like to present the real estate development business to our membership and start meetings on that, on how we could build this process out. And like I said, it will be those 4 teams. I will talk about the acquisition team, talk about the cultivation team, talk about the team that's going to focus on selling it. And of course, the last phase is protected by once we get the properties, what we're going to do with them. And that will be, so it's 4 different teams. I will introduce to our bodies to come on, and each one of those teams will meet a different day of the week. That's how that would work. And it could be something that starts in June, July, whatever, but and we can flesh it out more. So that's all.
And wouldn't it be wonderful if when they came together every week, they meet right at our building.
That'd be beautiful. Yes.
Brother Macy's.
Let me go.
Brother Macy's.
Yes, brother.
One thing a word of caution that comes to my mind, at least when we think about it, is how do we look as a division and as an organization? I don't want us to be too much of a Black business and not a Black government. So how do we look if we're able to buy and sell 10 properties, but at the end of the day, we still don't have a building for ourselves?
Well, like I said, I mean, there's 3 ways. I mean, there is the wholesale, there is the fix and flip, but that fix and hold should be our ultimate. I'm sorry, not fix and hold, fix and utilize should be the number one aspect of the business development goals, is to keep the properties for our nation. We have to build equity. A nation, not a nation if you don't have any land that you're governing. So we have to start acquiring land that we are governing, or else we're just on paper nation. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we don't look like one right now because we don't have any land. So yeah, I agree with you on the fix and sell. The only reason we would do that is to get quick cash to buy more assets like seeds or something that we need. If we wholesaling it or renovating and selling later. But our ultimate focus would be fixing it so that our members can be able to utilize the properties for their businesses or in three ways: for occupation, which is residential, and educational would be we'd be occupying it. The second way would be for businesses to use, and the third way we hope we utilize the properties is for manufacturing, agriculture, development of assets, things like that. So those will be the focus. The utilization and keeping it will be the ultimate focus of us as a government. But only time we were selling it, we want to try to get some cash.
Okay, as long as I heard you say the focus will be to fix and utilize, and I agree with that.
And the fix and utilize, I think the community would respect that.
Yes.
So it seems like we still got more work to do on
we got a lot of work to do.
Meeting location. Or home office. We still got work to do on that. So I don't want to, any other questions, comments? Like I said, I need to talk with Brother Jay Morrison. In the meantime, I think everybody can just keep an eye out for potential adverse possession properties in the area or any particular area that we think would be good for home base.
Okay.
Liberty Hall.
And like I said, with the app, you can just take a picture and put it up. Once you take the picture of the property and we see it, the second step is to figure out who owns it. So normally that process will be to look at the tax assessor's website to figure out who owns it or if they're behind on taxes. That's how you would know that this property is one that's really good to adverse possess. And you can Google the tax website, but just finding it will be good enough. I'm committed to find who owns it for us and seeing if we can adverse possess it.
We need to take a trip down by the school. It's a lot of property down there. A lot of potential.
Oh, for good. We'll take a trip.
Anything else on Liberty Hall or meeting location? Okay. All right. Okay. Let me quickly go over the month of May. We do have a lot of events in May and a couple things in June. So today is the 7th. We had a international headquarters meeting today. They were talking about the pledges and the funds. And so as of right now, there's pledges and commitments and funds received that equal up to $114,000 for the headquarters. From our division, to my knowledge, we pledged $1,000 from the division, and me as president, I'm responsible for $1,000. But I don't think, I'm not sure if anybody has made any individual pledges or anything like that. So from an overall standpoint, our division is planning to contribute $2,000 for the international headquarters. Okay, and in our executive meeting, that's what we're doing now. We have a UNIA meeting tomorrow evening. Then study group coming up Tuesday. We'll be looking at philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. They pushed back the president's meeting. It was supposed to be on the 4th. It's going to be on the 11th. So on the 11th, the evening, we'll have a president's call with the presidents. The 14th, Saturday the 14th, is the first African Liberation Day celebration. Let me pull up the flyer for that. Is it 14th or 15th? It is 14th. So this is the flyer. African Liberation Day. Everybody should have this in their text. Well, Sister Tania, I didn't send this to you, obviously, but everybody in Atlanta should have this. Saturday, May 14th, 12 to 2 at Mundy's Mill High School, Fayetteville Road, Jonesboro. This is the first African Liberation Day celebration for the month of May. There's another one later in the month, but this is the first one. If anybody is in, has free time or is willing to go to the area. I'm not sure if I will be there or not, but I am planning to attend. So it's another opportunity for us to promote and potentially recruit. As you can see, they got our colors, red, black, and green flag. So they should know who we are and what we stand for. A lot of them do. Brother Tutmosis does. All right, so that's the 14th, African Liberation Day. Let's see. Then get back to this.
May 19th is Marcus Garvey's birthday. Malcolm X's birthday, rather.
Yes, May 19th is Malcolm X's birthday. I'm not sure of any events that have been planned for the 19th. Is anybody else aware of any events on the 19th? I don't think there is. But the 15th of May, CBPM meeting in the evening. As Mama Mina said, Malcolm X's birthday is May 19th. They're having Malcolm X celebration on the 21st and 22nd. So this year, it'll be at Malcolm X Park, but it'll be 2 days, Saturday, the 21st from 12 to 8, and then Sunday, 22nd from 12 to 8. We will have a table at this event, at least for the Saturday. I'll be out there with the table and the membership applications and everything. In the past, President Ross Marvin has had
That's right.
The Rockets out there. I don't know if we'll be able to do that, if we have enough equipment to be able to do that. I'll look into that, as quickly as I can, but I would like all members to come out and support this, and the officers, I would like to come out and help manage our table and help to sign up new members. So that's a big event for us, Malcolm X Day. That's the first. That one I would expect the members in Atlanta to attend. The 14th, I'm not really expecting, those that attend, that's great. But Malcolm X Day, I expect as many officers to attend as possible. 22nd, that's the second.
And maybe, and my brother, maybe next year we can plan a African Liberation Day in Atlanta, somewhere closer. I don't know where Jonesboro is.
President John, be sure to send me those flyers. Text them to me.
I will do that. So the 22nd, 22nd, that's fourth Sunday. So we got a UNIA meeting on that Sunday, study group that Tuesday. And then there's another African Liberation Day and a feeding program that Brother Kenwardo just let me know. Wait, no. This feeding program is a feeding program that we do with the Nation of Islam and New Era. They're having a feeding program on this day as well. And I've got a flyer for that African Liberation Day. That one is going to be here in Atlanta at the Beloved Community Church. So we are featured guests at this meeting. This is a big, important meeting. Brother Tutmosis, if you're familiar with him, he's been doing a lot of work over the years to try to bring the Pan-African organizations together, and even started drafts of a Pan-African coalition here in Atlanta. President Ross Marvin introduced me to him and some of the work that they were doing back in 2018. I think it was 2018 or 2019. But with all the COVID stuff, things kind of slowed down. But this will be another big meeting. It's an in-person meeting, but we're trying to get things back going. So Friends of the Congo, that's not all African people. Okay. ASCAC, I don't even know what this is. All African People's Revolutionary Party, AARP, is that number? All African AAP. All right. But 28th, it's an important meeting. So as many members, executives specifically, that we can get to come out and basically be delegates. We will be delegates on behalf of the UNIA at these meetings. So this is important. So that is what I've got for, that's the month of May. So like I said, I've said it before, April, that's time to relax, but May, things pick up very quickly. So every weekend in May, we've got something planned for the next 3 weekends. June, just a brief recap, just a brief look at June. I know we're far away. I kind of want us to focus on May, but just to give y'all a heads up on June, Juneteenth, I believe, will be the 18th. And President Ross Marvin, you did let me know, Brother Bob Johnson, I believe, had asked us about participating in the parade and paying a fee. I need his phone number. I need his information because I don't know what the fee is, but we do want to participate. We do want to make sure we got red, black, and green flags, and we're going to be at the front of the parade. We're always at the front. But at this Juneteenth, I kind of want everybody to come out, as many people as possible, but we wanted to advertise and promote and use the brochures to hand those out. But hopefully, my plan was to have orientation the following week. So after Juneteenth, hand out flyers, let everybody know what's going on, and then have an in-person orientation on the 25th. That would only be our second in-person orientation that the division has held. Our first one we held in 2019, and we haven't had an in-person orientation since then. So I just felt like Juneteenth would be a good opportunity for us to promote and advertise for an in-person orientation the following week.
President John.
Yes.
Is it possible for us to promote the orientation as an event, like starting soon?
Yeah, well, yes. Yes. I think this is the first time I'm presenting the idea to everybody. So we don't haven't even thought of a location. I just, like I said, in my own mind, this made sense as far as the timing. When I'm looking at the calendar, looking at what's going on, where we have opportunities, this seems like a good opportunity for an in-person event. So it is something that we should be promoting for, but we have to agree upon it. And then we got to work to, get a location and all that stuff. And one other thing before we talk about that too much, May is a month with 5 Sundays. So the 29th of May, we don't have anything lined up. We could keep that as a rest day. We probably should anyway, but that's just another opportunity, even though it's kind of short notice. So this is what I've got for our calendar for at least May is pretty much locked in. Some things may pop up in June, but that's pretty much locked in too. So if we do want to have orientation on June 25th, I think we can, we've got enough time to figure some things out. Any questions or comments in regards to May and June calendar? He said no.
Not as a division, but I did have a question. They were supposed to be having international headquarters clean out on the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
Did they discuss that at the meeting today, or are they still doing that?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They are. It's just, yeah, since we in Atlanta, they don't expect us, well, they don't, you up there, but they don't expect anybody more than 3 hours was what they were saying. If it's more than a 3-hour drive, they don't expect us to come up there. But if you're in the area, I'm sure they would appreciate the support.
Gotcha.
Okay. There's no questions about the calendar. I don't think I really have much else. My big thing is making sure we're all on the same page for May. This is our executive meeting for May. So the next 3 weekends are big for us. And it's an opportunity for us to collaborate. But at some point, we're going to be asking other organizations for help and support and all those things. So this is our chance, just like with the Jay Morrison thing, to go out and approach them before we ask for help and before we ask them for help.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think I had anything else. Let me check my. I did have one other thing. I have one final thing, but I was going to wait until everyone got their comments in. So these are our books, the Message to the People books that we got.
Mm-hmm. I have one of those.
Okay, so there's no questions. I'm not saying it to myself. I did not say that. There's no questions. Okay. I just got one final thing and then close out.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Supposed to be. Okay. This is just this is all from me. It's not like scholarly or proven or anything like that, but just based on my experience, these are the things that I feel are required in order for an individual to be able to carry out a position of leadership. And the first thing is the level of intelligence. You have to at least know what you're doing what you're talking about. For us, I break that intelligence, the things that I'm looking for from UNI standpoint: intelligence in the Constitution, message to the people, intelligence in our professions. So whatever it is that we're doing, to put food on our tables, we should be experts in those fields and bring that expertise to the organization as well. Intelligence of what the other officers' duties are, and how we hold each other accountable, and training. So I know we haven't really talked about it, but there is a training course, training packet, and we're all on. I'm speaking to the choir at this point, but our weekly mass meetings, bi-weekly mass meetings, we touch on different topics, and those topics are pulled from our training course. But these are the things that we should know from an intelligence level to be leaders within the organization. The second thing that you need is resources. So, and resources kind of break down into two things for me. Funds, financial resources, the ability to contribute, to help out financially when that's needed, and resources from a network standpoint. So you may know someone that can help us, or has expertise in a certain field, and they can help the organization. So you having that resource from a network perspective is valuable, and it's a contribution. Charity. Okay, so yeah, I said charity. Third thing that we all need to have is time. And these last two things, so time and the next one, these are things that you can't really buy. You can't necessarily learn. It's either you have it and it's there, or you don't. Well, that's with time, not the next one. Next one you can actually work on. But time breaks down to two things: availability and time management. So you may hear people say they don't have time, or they don't have the time for this, don't have time for that. No one really has time. We all have the same amount of time, 24 hours a day. I don't know anybody that's got a day that's more than or less than 24 hours. So when it comes to how much time we have, we're all equal. It comes down to our ability to make time for certain things, and our ability to manage time. So from a time aspect, you can have all the intelligence in the world, you can have all the resources in the world, but if you don't have time to contribute that intelligence or those resources, what is the value? So those are three things that you need. And the fourth is health. This is something that we can't control to an extent, but it's just something that we all have to be aware of. So physical strength, physical endurance, making sure we're getting rest, making sure we're hydrated, our diets, and that's not just what we eat, but diet consists of the things that we listen to, our visual diet, spiritual diet, making sure those things are in place and well. And health, I break that. When I was going through it, it was more so physical, but mental health is also an aspect of it. And the last thing from health is exercise. I think that's exercise, just to maintain your health, keep your health up. And I added constitution, and that's from Course of African Philosophy. Garvey says, he talks about your constitution, but basically your total body and how it works and how it's connected, and making sure all of the parts of your body are healthy. But if you have, if you have intelligence, resources, and time, but you don't have health, it'll be difficult to contribute. If you have, resources, time, and health, but you don't have the intelligence, you may be driving the organization down the wrong path. So just from what I've seen in my experience, in the organization. And I think this, you could take this outside of the UNIA and apply it to business and things like that. I just personally feel that these 4 things are critical for leadership. And if you look at the chart and how these 4 things out and how I laid them out, if you look at the amount of area that overlaps, you know, that's what's in the center. And it's a visual representation of the population and who has all of the aspects in the population to actually function as a good leader. So, you know, it's only those that are in the center have the ability and have the capability, but not all of them have the mindset or even want to do it or have a race first philosophy. So it's a very small group of us that has everything. And when you do have everything, you should, you know, from a race first mindset, you know, you should have some sort of drive, you know, pushing you to apply these things to the benefit of your race. So that was the last thing that I wanted to say. Just my thoughts on what it takes to be a leader, and just wanted to share that with the family.
Thank you.
Any questions, comments, anything before we close? All right. So yeah, we have a meeting tomorrow, and I'll kind of recap the events for the month of May. But thank you everyone for coming on the call. And I don't really, you know, I'm not going to hold y'all too long. So we'll talk tomorrow. If there's no questions or comments, then we can move to close. Last call, questions, comments, anything before we close? Executive meeting for the month of May. So Sister Tania, I'll send you those flyers. So, all right. You can come off mute and repeat after me. We'll close out. One God.
One God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Africa for the Africans.
Africa for the
Africans.
Those at home.
Those at home.
Those at home.
And those abroad.
And those abroad.
Go in peace, family.
Go in peace. Race first.
Race first.